Hello everyone! I thought today we're gonna spend a quiet Sunday, but as the players already had a rest day on Saturday, that they decided on Sunday we're gonna have some blood. Here we have a game between Ne4 Aronian and Fabiano Caruana, and this is quite a matchup. It's round 7 of the 2018 Candidates Tournament. We have Ne4 Aronian, who is currently in second to last place, and Fabiano Caruana, who is currently in the lead. So definitely Aronian has the white pieces, and he definitely wants to make up for some of the not so wise decisions during the tournament. And we have Fabiano Caruana with the black pieces, who definitely wants to at least keep his lead, if not to extend it. And thanks to Nikki, we also have some nice fresh photos from the tournament. So let's check some of them out. Here we have a nice close-up of Fabiano Caruana. These are all photos from round 7. Here we have also a nice close-up, some black and white artsy photo of Ne4 Aronian. Here we have a nice photo of the two of them. That's only the opening of the game. And here we have a very nice photo of Ne4 Aronian. And this is the look of the man who is currently in second to last place of the tournament, but is still pondering, how do I win this and how do I challenge Magnus for the title? Maybe it could be done, who knows. There's still a lot more games in the candidates. We'll just have to wait and see. So without further ado, let's see this game. Aronian is white and he opens with d4. Knight to f6, c4, e6, and knight to f3, the anti-Nimzo. We have d5, we transpose into the queen's gambit declined, knight to c3, and now d captures on c4. E4 now, bishop to b4, bishop to g5, and we have h6. Bishop captures, queen captures, and bishop captures on c4. C5, we have castles, c captures on d4, and here instead of capturing back, Aronian decides to sacrifice a pawn. He plays e5, queen moves, and now knight to e4. With some ideas of, if Caruana is not careful, maybe position this knight to d6, but also e4 is a very nice square for the knight, definitely worthy of a pawn sacrifice. Caruana castles, and we have queen to e2. Queen to e4 does seem like the most reasonable move. It's definitely the best move for white, but this isn't the move of someone who is currently in second to last place in the tournament and wishes to win the candidates. So he has to make something happen. So after castles, we have queen to e2 by Aronian, and now bishop back to e7. Caruana wants to control the dark squares around the black king, not allowing Aronian to initiate any sort of an attack. Rook 8 to d1. We have queen to c7, and now bishop to d3, getting the bishop out of the way. Knight to d7, and now rook to c1. Still not interested in grabbing that pawn on d4. Caruana plays queen to a5, and here Caruana grabbed that pawn, and now he's also attacking the e5 pawn with his knight and queen, and also is threatening to capture the a2 pawn. But Aronian, again, has to make something happen. He plays g4. I haven't caught a glimpse of the live coverage, so I don't know what were the time controls at the time this move was played. I don't know if this is all in Aronian's home preparation, or is this just some inspiration over the board to make something happen. Either way, if any of you caught the live coverage, do share in the comments. Knight captures on e5. Caruana gladly grabs the pawn. Knight captures, queen captures, and now f4. Queen goes back to a5, and now comes g5. Aronian wants to break open the king's side. Queen back to d8, and now h4. Bishop to d7, we have g captures on h6, and now g6. Aronian pushes h5, and it seems that Aronian is successful in breaking open the king's side. If he can somehow get rid of his king from g1 and place his rooks maybe on g1 and h1, that would be excellent for him. So king to h8 by Caruana, and now king to h2, making room for the rooks. Bishop to c6, we have rook to f3, now comes bishop to d6, pinning that f4 pawn, and now queen to f2. With the idea of capturing that d4 pawn with check. Bishop to c7, now the queen also protects the d4 pawn, and we have king all the way to h3, unpinning. Queen to e7, and now knight to g5. And knight to g5 is a very interesting idea. Aronian offers his rook on f3. If Caruana would capture it, queen captures on f3. It would it would still be a fine position for black, but white would definitely have a lot of counterplay. Caruana doesn't go for this. He really enjoys his bishop pair, eyeing all the way here to the white king, so no reason to give up the bishop pair. He pushes e5. And it's a better decision. He's already up material, he doesn't want to grab more material and risk his position. Now he's threatening e4 to win the game simply. So Aronian here is basically forced to give up his rook on c1, but his rook on c1 isn't really doing nothing. The bishop on c6 is a very dangerous piece. Rook captures on c6, b captures on c6, and now Aronian plays knight captures on f7. Again, this move is basically forced. White can't afford a slow move. He can't afford Caruana to push e4. And here, capturing with the queen would definitely be a mistake for black, because now after h captures on g6, queen moves with check, and f5, these triple pawns, I mean, not triple pawns, but three connected pass pawns would definitely compensate for black's extra rook. But after knight captures on f7 with check, Caruana doesn't, of course, capture with the queen. He plays rook captures on f7, and now white doesn't have the option. After h captures on g6, he plays rook to f6, and now there is no time for f5. If f5, then e4 wins the game. Simple as that. So after rook to f6, Aronian again has to make something happen. He plays g7 with check. We have king to g8, and now bishop to c4 with check. King goes back to h7, and now again you see why this queen is so important on e7. Bishop to d3 now is impossible, because simply e4 again wins the game. So queen to h4, pinning that rook on f6. We have e4 now, attacking the rook, rook to g3, and bishop captures on f4. And here, again, Aronian's reply is basically forced. You can't allow a move like rook captures on h6, this wins the queen and the game. So g8, this comes with check, rook captures and bishop captures with check. So Aronian did win a rook here, king to h8, and now comes rook to g7. And there were some more ideas here, but none of them really work for white. You could try something like rook to g6, simply pinning that rook, attacking the pin piece because the queen is undefended, but black easily wins this with queen to d7 check. Now you have to make a decision. Now your rook on g6 is undefended, and if you defend the rook, you move it, rook to g4, then again rook to h6 wins the game. So after this king to h8, Aronian tried rook to g7, attacking the queen, and here after Fabiano played queen to f8, it was in this position that Levon Aronian resigned the game. So definitely not a great start, and we're already at the half of the tournament, and I don't know, I haven't seen the standings yet. I know Karya can finish this game, so I think it's fair to say that Aronian is currently in the last place in the tournament, and Caruana extended his lead by one point, so definitely a brilliant tournament so far by Fabiano Caruana. I will definitely show at least another game from round 7, so I will also include the standings after all the rounds have finished. But yeah, I mean, Aronian with the white pieces against Fabiano Caruana, losing a game like this, it's definitely due to the fact that he's down 2 points in this tournament. Now he's down 3 points in this tournament, and I don't see a way for Aronian winning the candidates anymore. But you know, it's not out of the question. He could still win all the games and and win the candidates, but it would be quite a feat. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. I will definitely cover one more game. Like I said, I thought it was going to be a quiet Sunday. We're going to see a lot of draws, but not likely. And today is Vasily Ivanchuk's birthday, so I wanted to show a game from round 1 of the European Individual Championship, where Vasily Ivanchuk won a very nice game with the black pieces, but I think I will have to wait with that game until tomorrow. But yeah, once again, I would like to thank Nikki Riga for her photos from round 7 and every other round. Like I said, you can find all of the links to her social media in the description below. So if you enjoy chess photography, feel free to follow her. And yeah, that's it. As usual, you can check all my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon with another interesting game from the candidates. Thank you all.